We often think about our own personal journey, our struggles, our growth, and the impact we want to have on the world as two completely separate things. But what if they're not? What if they're actually two sides of the same coin? Today, we're going to explore how to build an inner compass to find your why, and then use that to draw an outer map for creating a legacy that truly matters. So, where do we even begin? Well, it all starts by confronting what one of our sources calls the elephant in the room. And this is such a powerful metaphor, right? It's for all those big, heavy, difficult topics we just tend to shove aside. Things like loss, grief, and yeah, even our own mortality. We're kind of taught to just look away. But facing these things, that's the real first step toward living a life with purpose. So let's get real for a second. We all have one. What's your elephant? For the author of one of our sources, it was a really painful divorce, and then later his mom's battle with cancer. For you, it might be something totally different. The point isn't what it is, it's that facing that tough truth, whatever it is what forces us to start looking for a rudder in the storm. And that just flows perfectly into our next big idea, finding your rudder. Because once we finally face that elephant, that feeling of being overwhelmed can be, well, it can be a lot. It really does feel like being caught in a storm, and that's the exact moment you realize you desperately need some kind of direction to get through it. This source material uses this brilliant analogy. Feeling directionless, it says, is like being a ship that's lost its rudder. You're just being tossed around by the wind and the waves, completely out of control. And when you're in that state, you're not really connected to anything, and you're definitely not going to reach any kind of meaningful destination. Now, there's a really cool story behind this quote. It actually came from the author's high school electronics teacher, a guy named Tom Steinck. He saw this bright kid who was just kind of adrift, and he gave him this piece of advice that totally changed his life. The message is just so powerful. It doesn't matter if you pick the perfect destination. What matters is that you pick one. Just pick one. You can always change course later on, but you have to start sailing. So, okay, it's crystal clear we need that direction, that internal true north. But the million-dollar question is, how do we actually build one? And this brings us to a really fascinating concept called life's cosmic equation. One of our sources lays out this amazing framework for building that internal compass, and it breaks down into a few key parts that are surprisingly simple. So, this equation has what the source calls a cosmic trinity. First up, you've got your creative power. Think of this as your inner engine of curiosity, the part of you that wants to explore and try new things. Then there's receptive choice. This is all about being mindful in your daily decisions, like choosing patience when you feel frustrated instead of just lashing out. And then the thing that holds it all together, faith. And let's be super clear about what we mean by faith here. This isn't about blind belief. It's an active, powerful trust. It's having faith in yourself, faith in the people you connect with, and faith that this whole journey, with all its messy ups and downs, is actually leading somewhere meaningful. This, right here, is the very heart of your inner compass. Okay, so we've built our internal compass. We have our why. But what good is a compass if you don't have a map to go with it, right? Now we've got to figure out the how and the where. How do we take that inner purpose and actually apply it to the world around us? And here's where you can see the two halves of the puzzle just click into place. That inner compass, the one you built from your values, gives you your why. But now we need an outer map, a practical framework that shows you how to turn that why into real-world, tangible action. This is the bridge from just thinking about it to actually doing something. And that outer map comes from this incredible 4D framework from Gaia Education. It gives us 4 key dimensions to focus our impact. You've got the social. This could be anything from mentoring someone to getting involved in your community. The ecological, which could be as simple as planting a garden or supporting local farms. The economic, where maybe you consciously choose to support ethical businesses. And then the last one, worldview, which really ties everything together. And this 4th dimension, worldview, is the absolute master key. This is the part of the map where you plug in your inner compass. It's all about making sure that your actions out in the world are a genuine reflection of your personal values. It's what makes your impact authentic to you. So when you combine that deep inner sense of purpose with a really clear outer map for action, what do you get? You get to the ultimate goal of this entire journey, crafting your cosmic legacy. Now, this is so important. A legacy isn't something you leave behind when you die. It's the sum of all your actions and interactions that are happening right now in this very moment. It's the story you are actively writing with your life today. Your legacy is being created as we speak. And this is the call to action. It's about having the courage to face your elephant, the wisdom to build that inner compass, and the absolute determination to get out there and use your outer map. It's about daring to find and live out your unique purpose, starting right now. So, as we wrap this up, I really want to leave you with this one thought. Your legacy isn't some giant monument you're building for some far off future. It's the collection of tiny choices you make every single day. You are living your story right now. So, what's your next chapter going to be?